I'm a firm believer that if you know someone's story, you gain a greater attachment to that person and you have a newfound empathy for them that you wouldn't have otherwise. Even sometimes the simplest of details about their life or simply putting a name to a face can set that emotion. And on the flip side, it's easier to have some really harsh reactions towards people or develop unwarranted prejudices or judgments about a person by just hearing one story about them. One story can often make or break how we view a person. When you break it down like that, it does feel a little bit crazy. As we continued our series, Bad Girls in the Bible, Pastor Jim spoke last weekend about a woman in the Bible who was caught in adultery. She was taken in front of a crowd to be judged and mocked. The crowd knew little more about her than she had just committed a terrible act of breaking the vows of marriage. I am married and I very much believe in the sanctity of marriage. I would never condone adultery for any reason, but I do realize that all people sin and all people make mistakes. And this particular woman's sin was engaging in an affair with a man who was not her husband. Even in the passage from the Bible we read from John's biography of Jesus' life, we don't get much more of her story. We don't know anything about what led her to that moment and to that bed. And yet the crowd gathered was ready to stone her to death. All they knew was her heinous act. All they knew was that she had done something wrong, and it was made very public. But Jesus was there in the crowd. And because Jesus, who is fully God, knows each person ever created in the most intricate detail, he had the empathy that everyone else was lacking. He didn't see her as a woman who had done this terrible thing. He saw her as a precious daughter who had had the potential to be a life that was changed. After Jesus had dismissed her accusers, letting them know that they, too, are in need of some life change and heart change, he said to her, "Where are your accusers? Didn't even one of them condemn you?" "No, Lord," she said. And Jesus said, "Neither do I. Go and sin no more." Now don't mistake this as a free pass though. It came with a tall order at the end. Go and sin no more. Jesus was essentially saying to her, I see your sin. I'm having mercy on you. But now you know you are accountable for that information. Don't do it again. Be better. Think of all the times God has had mercy on you. Are you still falling into bad habits that are causing you to sin in the same ways over and over again? I hope you'll take from today's Devo that God loves you. He sees you. He has mercy on you every day. But you know what you should do and shouldn't do. You're now accountable for that information. You can no longer claim negligence. Hear him say to you today, I don't condemn you, but go and sin no more.